how are you doing? What am I doing? I'm looking at my trading cards. I've got quite a few of them here in front of me. One of the things we do here at Secured Connections and Wellness is make trading cards of ourselves. There's actually something to that therapeutically. Has to do with one of the models that I use here at Secured Connections and Wellness. Here's a manager card that's kind of a good one. This one actually is me from the 1980s, called the Imaginative Creator. Its energy level is an 8 out of 10. Its protection level is 8 out of 10. Its signature moves are happy mood, wants to play, talks a lot, and can't sit still. Actually, many of the kids out here have cards that they've made, different creatures and different superpowers, times they show up, what they protect, what their needs are. Their needs might be time together. Someone to be on my side. And maybe another one, what this builder protects. This builder protects hope, connection, belonging. Anyway, that's one of the things we do here. My name is Kirby Hansen. Welcome to Secured Connections and Wellness. You are watching Securely Connected. Tried consequences, tried being nice, tried being patient, tried explaining, tried bringing in someone else. Have you bought books, looked things up online, asked for advice, talked to your child's teacher, their therapist, and you're still not sure what to do? Nothing seems to be working. What do you do next? Well, I like to think here at Secured Connections and Wellness, I've got some good ideas that I can share. And things don't always work as well as you think they should. Sometimes you have to try a few things first before you get something that works. But I've been trying things for the last 29 years, and a lot that I've tried hasn't worked. But I've got a model that I want to share with you today that I feel has been working pretty good for me. We want to really look at the child's nervous system and see where they're at. How are they regulating? And what can they handle in that moment? All right. The truth is, kids don't need stronger consequences right away necessarily. I'm not saying that they need gentle parenting. That might be something else. But what kids do need is engagement first. Today I want to show you a simple map that will help caregivers know when to be playful, when to be structured, when to calm things down, and when safety really has to be taken into consideration first. What do you do when? I call it the confidence path map. All right, so before we walk through this map, I want to share with you a little bit about where this framework comes from. The model I'll be using today is based on Trust-Based Relational Intervention, or TBRI, which was developed by Dr. Karen Purvis and Dr. David Cross at TCU, Texas Christian University. They've got a couple books. It's now known as the Karen Purvis Institute of Child Development. Now, I completed the official TBRI Practitioner training in 2018, and honestly, that was one of the most important learning experiences for me during my career. It's something I absolutely am grateful every day that I had the opportunity to learn this model to the level that I have. It helped me bring together attachment theory and everyday caregiving strategies in a way that immediately made sense to me. If I could have had these strategies when I was teaching school, and better yet, if I could have had these strategies while I was raising my own children when they were younger, things would have been so much better. These strategies have helped me become a much better caregiver and much more self-aware, because I had to do some deeper diving attachment work. I had to have my attachment type determined, which was a little bit of a shifting experience for me. So TBRI is an evidence-based caregiving model grounded in attachment theory, trauma-informed care, research of the brain development. It fits closely alongside the work of folks you're going to recognize, such as Carol Kranowitz, Out of Sync Child, Tina Payne Bryson, Dan Siegel, the authors of The Whole Brain Child, and several other books like No Drama Discipline, to name a few. And all of these practices have helped caregivers understand how children regulate and how they develop and so forth. Over my years at Orchard Place, I am proud to say I helped bring TBRI to the organization, and I spent a lot of time working there alongside others where TBRI shaped how staff and children work together every day. Everything we do out here at Secured Connections and Wellness is grounded in attachment theory and interpersonal neurobiology and is strongly informed by TBRI principles as part of how I support caregivers working with children who have big behaviors and sensitive nervous systems. If you're a caregiver that brings your child to therapy at Secured Connections, undoubtedly you are going to be well versed in TBRI caregiving practices. This video is not an official TBRI training in any way, shape, or form. I just want to give credit where credit's due. TBRI is fantastic. It pulls things together in a very meaningful way. And I use TBRI-informed strategies with caregivers all the time. So let's take a look at the confidence path map that I've created here at Secured Connections and Wellness, which is based on the principles of TBRI's level of response for caregivers. This is something that we can look at so many different everyday situations and help us know what to do right when we see the behavior without having to think twice about it. All right. Behavior is not a problem. It's not just random. It is a signal of our child's nervous system. All right. So there's a few key principles that we want to take into mind as we look at these maps. The first one is we always have to remember that connection comes before correction. Without a strong connection, we don't go anywhere with correction. It's not going to help us out very well. We need to ensure that the child's sense of felt safety is regulated before we can teach them anything new. And we need to have regulation before we share expectations. So if we skip this and just go straight to lecturing and teaching when the child isn't really ready to receive this information, kids will continue to escalate. The caregiver is going to feel like nothing works. So rather than saying, how do we stop this behavior by using this map or these maps that I've created, we're going to be asking ourselves, what level is my child at right now? And how do I respond? So the first level is level 1, playful engagement. Playful engagement, you'll hear this time and time again, disarms fear. Playful engagement is the baseline for how adults should be interacting with children. We should be using friendly, happy voices. I'm happy to see you. Hey, how's it going? And talk to children like they're regular people who we're excited to be around. During level 1, we'll see flexible thinking, listening, and cooperation happen. This is when curiosity and problem solving is what's going on. Children are calm and connected. During this period, this is when we want to teach the skills that they'll be needing throughout life and what they'll be needing to know how to use when they're not quite as regulated. So we'll want to teach those strategies so that we can practice ahead. Some of the strategies that we'll be working on are offering choices, rehearse transitions, practice making compromises, and our voice tone during this stage is warm, it's light, all right? Pair it with a smile, warm eyes, be a little bit playful depending upon the age of the child you're interacting with, and we'll want to try this together. Show me your calm body. Build connection so that later correction will work better. Okay. So the next level, level 2, structured engagement. So playful engagement is fun, right? It's like, hey, let's try that again. Oh, were you asking or were you telling? Playful engagement is a little bit fun, and it just reminds them quick, like, oh, that's not how we talk to people, right? Okay. Now level 2 is when that didn't work, or the behavior is just a little bit more significant, and we need to come in with a little more, I'm serious about this, but you're not in trouble yet, right? Okay. So all we're going to do now is we're going to just reduce our language. We're not going to lecture. We're going to offer a very limited choice. Maybe this or that. Or, well, right now it's time to do that. I'm also going to maintain my own regulation. So I'm going to stay calm. So I need to remember to take a breath myself. And I need to keep expectations predictable while I stay nearby. I don't need to get louder. I don't need to be stricter. I don't need to hurry things up. Actually, This is when things might just slow a little bit. I need to stay confident, clear, and steady. All right. So your child might be complaining. They might make some body movements like they don't want to put their video game away, or they don't want to get ready for school, or they don't want to, whatever it is. And they may begin using some delay tactics like 5 more minutes, or not right now, or I'm about to beat this level. Like when you hear these kinds of things, you know their regulation system is starting to get a little higher, and you could either take them off the map and go higher with them, or we can do something in this structured engagement to ensure they know that we're here and that we're not going to go away, and we do mean business, but we're not mad and they're not in trouble. And we want to diffuse this tension that's beginning to rise. Okay, so it's time to turn off the game. First shoes, and then we're going to go. You can walk, or I can help you. I'm going to be right here. You heard what I said. I'm right here. Okay, so you hear it in my voice. I wasn't mean. I just was very clear. I wasn't playful either. There's no sing-song to my voice. All right, so this level protects regulation before we get to escalation. Okay, level 3, this one's really important. It's called calming engagement. Now, I often tell people, I believe they called it calming engagement, not necessarily for the kids, but to remind us as the caregivers that we also need to remain calm. Children learn to regulate their emotions first by someone regulating for them. As they got older, we co-regulated with them, and then they were able to independently self-regulate, and we sent them to kindergarten, okay? When behaviors become bigger, children need co-regulation. Again, no matter what age they're at. Even adults, I need to co-regulate sometimes. Who am I going to call someone I trust the most? Okay. All right. When we're going to be using calming engagement isn't necessarily when our child is like hitting us and kicking us and hurting somebody or something. That's going to be the next one. But oftentimes what parents will say to me is, how am I supposed to use playful engagement when my child is hitting me? And I say, you're not supposed to. All right. If they're hitting you, it's not time for playful engagement. We need to know what step to go to. And you might be at calming engagement. You could be already at protective engagement. But calming engagement is when we really think we can still reel them in. They are escalated and they're beyond reason, all right? They're storming away. They're refusing. Their emotions are flooding, and we have lost the ability to reason with them, all right? So what we need to do is just stop everything and maybe not even say anything. Sometimes what I will do is just begin to breathe like this. And my child or the kid I'm co-regulating with will very often step in with me and begin to match my breathing. That's what we do as caregivers. It's part of being a mammal. It's part of helping our children learn to regulate as we just model it. Sometimes words aren't even necessary. If we do say something, it's going to be something like this. You know I love you. You know I care about you. You know I need you to understand that I love you. You know, whatever it is you say, simple things in a calm, meaningful way, grounded, that's reassuring. And you're saying things like, I'm right here. We can figure this out together. Let's take a breath. All right. These words are on the card in case you forget what to say. And the reminder for us caregivers is big behaviors are the dysregulated nervous system. We're not going to do any teaching or learning. And so whatever you do, do not lecture. Don't lecture at this state. This is when people want to give consequences. They want to say, you want to do this again? Are we really going to do this right now? That's it. You're losing your phone for 2 weeks. You know, when things like that are said during this stage, all you've done is pushed them straight into the next level that is called protective engagement. Level 4, the final step, is protective engagement. This is when kids are hitting, throwing, they're eloping out of the house building into a place where safety is a concern. There's a loss of control. All right. I've had parents say to me, how can I restrain my child? Is there a training I can go to where I can learn how to safely restrain my child? And really, I almost never give the recommendation to restrain your child. Number one, if your child is small enough now that you can restrain them safely, they probably won't stay that small for long. All right. The bigger my children got, the older I got. Like, restraining just isn't a strategy for the long haul. Also, it doesn't really help connection. Okay. And it doesn't help independence for later when they need to learn how to regulate themselves. Now, obviously, you don't want things to be dangerous. You don't want people to get hurt. So a plan needs to be put in place for when hitting, throwing, running away, unsafe behavior begins, when this loss of control. We have already taught pauses. We've already taught the levels, we have structure, we have consequences, things you can earn, not learn. This isn't the time to talk about any of that. All right. This isn't when you're going to say, you're going to get, your phone taken away for 2 more weeks. If they're already hitting something, all they're going to do is hit harder, and it's going to last longer. So no talking. The caregiver needs to do no talking. If they do any talking at all, it's going to be things like this. You're safe. I got you. I'm not going to let you hurt me. I am not going to let you hurt your sister. I am not going to let you hurt your property. Let's get through this together. Let's get to a safe place. And the other thing you might do is just breathe. If we can get them to simmer back into level 3 again, shift back from 4 into 3, we've got a lot of progress. What happens sometimes, and I hope you listen to this carefully, is a caregiver will have them back into level 3, and then another caregiver will enter the room and say, what are we doing here? Oh my gosh, not this again. Boom, right back to level 4 we go. And the person who just got them to level 3 is like, why did you open your mouth? Please, you're not helpful. So if we're at level 3, we need to do everything we can do to keep them at level 3. We're not getting them their way. They're not going to get off with no consequences. We're just not going to talk about the consequences right now, because talking about them is just going to shove them right back up into level 4, and then we're going to have an unsafe situation once again. Now, for level 4, what are your plans? Could be that you have something about calling mobile crisis in some cases. It could be that you have some sort of a repair crew plan in place that you need to start instigating. And we're going to talk more about how to teach the pause and so forth for kids. But keeping everyone safe really is the primary goal here. And the primary goal is we need to get us back to level 3, level 2, and eventually level 1, so we can resume playful engagement once again. And the level is to get back to level 1. We don't want to stay in correction mode, all right? We want the confidence path map. It goes up and down like this. You see the arrow goes up and down. And so we're working towards getting them closer to the top, where they can learn, where they can repair, where they can grow. Here's something that I want caregivers to hear clearly. If your child moves up and down this ladder quickly, you're not doing something wrong. It usually means their nervous system is working really hard to help them make sense of the world and to keep them safe. What helps most is not stronger consequences or harsher punishments, but a stronger connection matched to the moment with a regulated caregiver. Much easier said than done, quite often. All right. You can use this map to help with any kind of routine transitions and things and situations that come up where you struggle the most with your child's ability to maintain regulation. Is that homework transitions? Bedtime routines? The turning off the video game or turning in the phone or tablet at the end of the day? School mornings? Big feelings after school? The important thing is we ask ourselves, what level are they at right now? And what is it that I'm going to do to match what they're needing? I'll quite often talk about the nervous system. I teach all the kids, no matter what their age is, about certain parts of the brain, such as the amygdala, the emergency response button, the hippocampus. We have models of the brain. We talk about it all the time. So our responses to things are very much focused and based on our ability to regulate. Your calm response teaches your child's brain that you're a safe person, right? That I am safe. I am not alone. I can do this. I can recover. I can repair. And that's how confidence grows. That's what secure connections look like. Again, my name's Kirby Hansen. You've been watching Securely Connected, where at Secured Connections and Wellness, connection matters. Always remember, connection before correction. When kids feel secure and they feel a sense of felt safety and can regulate, their confidence grows. Until next time, I'll see you later.